Welcome to the summary of The Power of Now, a guide to spiritual enlightenment by Eckhart Tolle. This profound book has touched the lives of millions by introducing a simple but life-changing truth. The key to peace and happiness is living fully in the present moment. Throughout this journey, we will explore how Tolle's teachings on presence, consciousness, and the dissolution of the ego can lead us towards spiritual enlightenment. Let's begin by diving into the core concepts of the power of now. At the heart of the power of now is a straightforward but powerful message. The present moment is all we ever truly have. Our suffering arises when we get trapped in the mind's endless chatter, dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Tolle teaches that the mind is often our biggest obstacle to happiness, as it constantly pulls us away from the peace available in the now. Tolle writes, "Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. This means that to find true inner peace, we must break free from our habitual identification with thoughts and reconnect with the stillness of the present moment. When we live in the now, we access a state of calm, joy, and spiritual awakening." A central theme in the book is the concept of the ego. Tolle explains that the ego is the false self, the voice in our head that is constantly judging, comparing, and identifying with our thoughts, emotions, and external circumstances. It thrives on creating separation and conflict, keeping us in a state of anxiety or dissatisfaction. The ego pulls us out of the present moment by convincing us that we are incomplete, that happiness lies in the future, or that we need to dwell on past grievances. As Tolle puts it, the greater part of human pain is unnecessary. It is self-created as long as the unobserved mind runs your life. In order to dissolve the ego's grip, Tolle encourages us to become the observer of our thoughts. By cultivating this awareness, we can see the ego for what it truly is, a mental construct that is not the essence of who we are. Our true self lies beyond the mind, in a state of pure presence. Another key concept in The Power of Now is the pain body, which Tolle describes as an accumulation of old emotional pain that resides within us. The pain body is the emotional aspect of the ego, made up of past trauma, suffering, and negativity that we carry with us. It can be triggered by external events or even by our own thoughts, causing us to react in destructive ways. Tolle explains, "The pain body wants to survive just like every other entity in existence, and it can only survive if it gets you to unconsciously identify with it. When we become aware of the pain body's influence on our behavior, we can prevent it from dominating our lives. By staying present, observing our emotions without identifying with them, we can heal and dissolve the pain body. The practice of observing the pain body without feeding it empowers us to break free from emotional cycles that no longer serve us, leading to greater peace and self-awareness." Accessing the power of presence. The key to overcoming the mind, the ego, and the pain body lies in presence. But what does it mean to be present? Tolle describes presence as a state of heightened awareness, free from identification with the past or future. It is the deep connection to the now where we find our true essence and spiritual enlightenment. Tolle reminds us that accessing this state is always possible, regardless of our circumstances. He says, "It is not uncommon for people to spend their whole life waiting to start living. Instead of waiting for the future to bring happiness, we can find peace in the present moment by simply observing our thoughts, tuning into our senses, and surrendering to the now." Presence brings us back to a state of simplicity and stillness, allowing us to experience life fully without the filters of judgment or worry. It is in this state of presence that we begin to feel a deep connection with the universe, realizing that we are part of a larger whole. Surrender and acceptance. A major theme in the book is the idea of surrender. Tolle explains that much of our suffering arises from resistance to our circumstances, to our emotions, or to life itself. This resistance is rooted in the ego's need for control, but it only deepens our suffering. Tolle urges us to practice acceptance and surrender to the present moment. He writes, "Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Always work with it, not against it." This doesn't mean that we become passive or complacent. Rather, it means accepting reality as it is without trying to resist or change it. When we stop fighting against what is, we release the inner tension that creates suffering. Surrendering to the flow of life allows us to act from a place of inner peace and clarity, making us more effective in dealing with challenges. Relationships in the now. In The Power of Now, Tolle also addresses how presence transforms our relationships. He explains that many relationships are based on egoic needs, using others to fulfill our desires or expectations, leading to conflict and dissatisfaction. However, when we are present in our relationships, we can create deeper, more authentic connections. Tolle writes, "Love is a state of being. Your love is not outside, it is deep within you. You can never lose it, and it cannot leave you." By practicing presence in our relationships, we move beyond the ego's desires and allow space for true love to emerge. Presence helps us listen more deeply, communicate with compassion, and let go of the need to control others. The power of silence and stillness. Throughout the book, Tolle emphasizes the importance of silence and stillness in accessing the present moment. In our noisy, fast-paced world, we are often disconnected from the quiet stillness that lies within us. But Tolle reminds us that it is in moments of silence and inner stillness that we can reconnect with our true nature. He says, "Silence is an even more potent carrier of presence than words." By cultivating moments of silence, whether through meditation, mindfulness, or simply pausing in our daily activities, we tap into the power of presence and awaken to our deeper spiritual essence. Enlightenment through the now. The ultimate goal of the book is spiritual enlightenment, which Tolle defines as the realization of our true nature, beyond the mind and ego. Enlightenment is not a distant, unattainable goal. It is available to us in every moment through the power of now. Tolle teaches that enlightenment is not about adding anything to ourselves, but rather about shedding the illusions of the ego and mind. When we live fully in the present moment, we experience a deep sense of unity with life, free from fear, suffering, or attachment. He concludes, "The moment that judgment stops through acceptance of what is, you are free of the mind. You have made room for love, for joy, for peace." Final thoughts. In The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle offers a transformative path to spiritual awakening and inner peace. By living fully in the present moment, dissolving the ego and embracing acceptance, we can transcend the suffering of the mind and experience the true power of presence. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the power of now. Remember, the present moment is where life truly happens. By anchoring ourselves in the now, we unlock the power to live with peace, clarity, and joy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insightful content like this. Which book would you like me to summarize next? Let me know in the comments section. See you next time.